If you like vermouth, you'll want to try this cocktail. I'm Brian Johnson, and in this episode of Better Cocktails at Home, we're making the Star cocktail. It's a nice combination of just spirit and vermouth, but it's a winning one in my book. Now the base spirit is apple brandy. In this case, I'm using Laird's bonded one, and it's 100 proof, and it's 100% apple. You'll see most commonly Laird's Applejack. And it's got some apple in it, but it's also got a lot of neutral grain spirit. I think this is a better product, though it's harder to find. Slightly more money, but if you can get it, it's worth it. If you can only find Applejack, go with it. But it's a nice, delicious apple brandy. We're gonna do 2 ounces of this. And add that to our mixing glass. And the second major component is sweet vermouth, and I'm using Carpano Antica here. And the cool thing with this drink is, depending on what sweet vermouth you use, it's going to really change the character of the drink. This one is, I think, on the sweeter side for me. That's why I upped the ratio of the apple brandy and kind of reduced this a bit. So you can kind of really tailor based on what sweet vermouth you're using to really get different flavors out of the drink. So I'm going to do 1 ounce of this Carpano. And then we're going to add that to our mixing glass. Now, I believe in the original recipe for the Star cocktail, it called for like a dash of gum syrup, which is a thing that's not really around anymore. It's starting to come back a little bit, but it's kind of like a rich, simple syrup. It calls for a little bit of that. I'm going to omit it because I think the Carpano is pretty sweet as it is, and so I'm going to just forego it. I'm then going to add 2 dashes of Angostura bitters. And I'm going to add 1 dash of Peychaud's bitters. And those are all the ingredients in this cocktail. Now, because they are all clear, we're going to be stirring this drink. So you want to add our ice. Now you want to give it quite a few revolutions just to get it nice and chilled, diluted, and to the proper temperature. Now it should do it. Now you're going to want to strain into a cocktail glass. Now I'm using a julep strainer here. If you have a Hawthorne strainer, that would work equally as well. We'll just strain it right into your glass. Now that's the major cocktail. The part we're going to add secondly is our garnish. And we're just going to do a nice lemon twist. And I like to just get the oil over the top for some of that smell and taste. And then just give it a nice twist. Drop it in. And that's the cocktail. It's a nice cocktail, and the fact that I think depending on what vermouth you use, it's going to change the character a lot, which is kind of cool. So if you're using Carpano versus Dolin or any other sweet vermouths, it's going to totally change how this drink tastes. Also, you can kind of tailor it with the bitters. If you like a different kind of bitters, I think you're still kind of making a Star cocktail. if you got the apple brandy and your sweet vermouth and bitters, that's kind of I think the main thrust of the drink. But it's a nice kind of fall variation of the standard kind of brown stirred cocktail with the apple brandy. But it's a very old drink. I believe it was first published in 1895 in George Kappeler's Modern American Drinks. So every time you're drinking it, you're drinking a little bit of history right there. But that's how you make the star cocktail.